This is The Heat Source, the podcast where we learn everything we can about hot sauce, one bottle at a time. We're your hosts, Mike and Matt, and today we're trying Jalapickle by Pex Peppers and Taco Vibes Only by Butterfly Bakery of Vermont. Let's heat up. Welcome back to The Heat Source, where we learn about new sauces weekly, one bottle at a time. This week we are back with two sauces, two brands we're familiar with, but two new flavors. We've got the Jalapickle from Pex Peppers, a nice mild sauce, and what Mike was just learning, Taco Vibes Only, a very hot taco sauce.
Have you had this one before? Or you're just here
No,
that it's hot.
it was on Hot Ones. This was one of the Hot Ones Butterfly Bakery of Vermont sauces. It was the number 9 spot out of 10.
Oh, cool.
So just a step above the bomb.
That's funny.
I'm assuming way larger leap above the bomb in flavor though, just based on Claire's sauces that we've tried in the past
Yeah.
and will continue to try.
Right.
She has sent a sauce, like different sauces, and I've never been disappointed, but also I'm always just like, yes, this sounds like another, banger. This one, I mean, you said it, where it's like I just want a good taco sauce. I think we're still going to get that. It's just going to be, you might not smother the tacos as much as you might originally have thought.
Yeah, that's just super interesting. I was just telling you I have mystery bottles, so I don't have a heat scale on there. And then most taco sauces are on like a hot taco sauce is like mild or medium.
Yeah, I'll start designing some custom stickers when we split the bottles,
Yeah.
or we'll just eventually be back to recording in the studio. I've been in the studio loving it. You haven't even set foot in the studio yet
I
since
haven't been
we
there in a long
set it
time.
up.
I finally got my truck back though. That's the good news.
Like a
Bad,
functioning truck, or just they gave it back?
functioning for now.
Okay.
The bad news is my truck was there so long, my tabs and plate expired. So now I have to put new tabs and a license plate on. But it was there for about 5.5 months. And I finally called and said, all right, man, what do we need to do to get this across the finish line?
Yeah.
So
That location, not a sponsor.
it's funny. There was just a very mutual understanding that I'm going to call you and tell you the vehicle's ready. I'm going to come and pick it up. And neither of us are going to mention price. I just
Yeah,
walked
that's
in,
a
said
fun.
thanks, and left. And I know that he put many hours into it. Had it been in a better time frame, I'd have been like, no, man, I'm paying you.
Yeah.
It was to the point where I'd be like, this is out of hand.
Yeah. Those are the day-to-day life things that, aren't fun, but hot sauce, that's fun.
Yeah.
So, um, the one thing I do want to mention, just because it did just recently kick off, Hot Sauce Havoc, the YouTube series hosted by Steve Seabury and Ed Curry. The basically a or a version of Chopped, but with hot sauce, um, where they have key basket ingredients. They make the sauce. There's challenges throughout. They had their first episode that just kicked off on YouTube last week. It was recorded at last year's Joliet, Illinois show of the Seabury events.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if we want to spoil who won that first episode, but there were some familiar faces at that one. And the theme was you either made a sauce that goes on a Chicago-style Italian beef sandwich or something that just represents an Italian beef sandwich.
Gotcha.
And so you had to make
Don't ruin
something
it
with
for me.
that.
I want to watch that one actually.
Yeah, so that's, I mean, the episodes, I argue they could be longer just because I like the content, I like seeing everything, but I understand from like keeping the audience's attention, it's only like 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really digestible, I mean, you're thinking of like a 30-minute TV show back in the day when commercials existed. You were getting like 18 minutes at best on a 30-minute show.
Yeah.
So it's in the same thing. It still confounds me where like my kids will see a commercial and go, what's this thing? Why we got this thing? Because like now you can pay for like free ad free stuff.
Yeah.
And so now like ads popping up as like commercials. And I'm like, hey, back in the day, you'd have like 5 minutes of this, 5 to 7 minutes of this, and then you'd watch a bit, and then watch
You
five
have
to
two
seven
minutes
minutes
of
more.
TV and 5 minutes of commercials.
Yeah, just they're just like, no, no,
Yeah.
that's
My
not how that
my
works.
daughter
And
sometimes she'll see an ad come on. She'll go, "Uh-oh."
my oldest, she's been watching the TV show The Rookie. She loves The Rookie. She's obsessed. She even knows like the codes that the police say on the show, which I don't know if they change those at all for accuracy, like to like not give everything away, but like I'm sure it's accurate. But she's like, I have terrible news. I'm like, what? She's like, I'm done with The Rookie, and I'm like it ended. I said, I didn't know they canceled that or that the series finale happened. And she's like, no, I've caught up all the way. Where now I have to wait for when the episode actually comes out on live TV. And I'm like, I'm so sorry for you. I
Yeah.
hope you're doing okay during this
Like
trying time.
back in my day, if you missed it, you missed it.
Yeah, like you just had to hope for reruns.
Yeah,
And
you
to
had to
find
wait.
out the reruns, you had to go to a paper book and look up on the TV guide. Or if it was that day, you watched a scrolling guide that
Yeah.
did not move at your
Gosh,
pace.
I can't. I remember the days when you had to literally get a paper book to look what was gonna be on TV in like 3 months. You'd be like, "Oh my God,
Hmm.
on July 2nd, Jurassic Park's gonna be on."
Yeah, the big thing was like they would release the
The TV
um
guide.
yeah, well the TV guide, but like the big one was like during the like when all the premieres were happening. It's like, hey, here's all the new shows coming, and you'd read about the shows and go, oh, that looks interesting. Oh, that
Yeah.
might be fun.
Hmm.
Instead, now it's just
It's funny.
everything's just on the socials.
Whenever I think of new shows, I always think Sunday Night Football because they
Yeah.
always have. That's just like the series premiere season.
Hmm.
You know, all new on Fox. That sound is just stuck in my head from Sunday Night Football advertising new shows.
Do you? I don't know. Unless I played the song, I don't think you're gonna know what this is. Do you know the NBC basketball theme song? It was a John Tesh song. I think it was
so,
called
yeah.
like Round Ball Rock.
Yeah.
Iconic.
Hmm.
So NBC is getting back into the NBA sports scene. Like they weren't covering sports at all since I feel like for a decade at least. But they are coming back, and they've announced that song is coming back. And I'm sure it's not going to be as great as when it first was out because like nostalgia just amplifies everything.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see an NBA game kick off and hear that music and go. They need to do the intro like the same way, like highlights and like
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
There
feel
was a
like
little
they're
bit more
bringing it back
more
just
flair
because,
back
like,
then.
Angel Reese is just making basketball popular again.
Well, she's a 3-time Sportswoman of the Year according to BET Awards. So,
Really?
she just won her third straight Sportswoman of the Year award. Only other woman to do that was Serena Williams.
Oh, that one's 100% understandable.
Yeah, no one's. I've tried to read an article to see like, I just want like a little bit of context, like, because I know like she does like a podcast that's very popular. She does other things. She's considered very fashionable in the WNBA scene. But I'm like, is it about sports? Is it about like just a woman in sports doing other things? Because like the first year she got it was when they won the college title,
Hmm.
I think, and that made sense. She was the face of that team.
Yeah, right.
But I'm like,
I don't
two
know, man.
more?
Her tickets
Okay.
are $3 a pop right now. So
But yeah. So, congrats to her.
I don't have a BET award, so
Yeah, I've got 0 BET awards, and I'd lay odds I probably won't win one. And I'm sure if there was an award that I'd be eligible for, it probably wouldn't be a good one. It wouldn't be a good award. So, yeah,
that's funny.
I don't know how we switched over to that, but yeah, the NBC music, I'm excited for that. I'll have to put a photo of John Tesh conducting it because when he conducts it, it's like, let's go.
I've never seen that. I'm familiar with the music, but I've never seen him conducting it.
It's great. I wish, I wish like some of the basketball video games. I mean, they won't for copyright reasons, but it'd be great if they included some NBC coverage on those because they'll do different ones where it's like this one's by ESPN,
Yeah.
and then have that music kick in.
One
But
one of the best jingles is the Fox on NFL. On
Oh,
a
yeah.
good set of speakers.
Mhm.
If you get into a car and someone's got a good sound system, turn that song on and just rip it.
Well, the NFL in general, like between that and then the what were the old school like highlight videos that they would do, like the
Like the
classic
orchestra.
ones. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like some of the NFL stuff's just iconic in general,
Hmm.
especially those documentary style ones they used to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so um, that was just a little bit of catch up on what we've been up to. The Italian beef sandwich thing. I've got a couple sauces that I could put in Italian beef sandwich. I know this jalapickle one. I'm excited for the sandwich use of that one, just because any of the pickle ones, you throw it on something.
Yeah.
I will say, just as a note from one of our last sauces we tried, I haven't made tuna fish in a while. Just I'm never not a big tuna fish guy. I'll eat it, but like we have cans of tuna in our pantry. We just cleaned out our pantry and found cans of tuna. So I'm like, all right, I'll make it some tuna fish. I threw some of that sweet jalapeno reaper from Stanky Sauce in there,
Oh yeah.
and it was good because it like I like I like sweet pickle, I like sweet relish, but we only had the dill pickle relish, so I had some of the dill pickle in
Mm.
there in there, but like and that sweet jalapeno reaper was a nice sweetness touch on there that I'm like, okay, like this is another good use for it.
Right.
Um, but all right, let's get into Pex peppers. So Pex peppers, the jalapickle hot sauce. This is a dill pickle spiced jalapeno hot sauce. And again, this is Pueblo, Colorado. We tried a few sauces of theirs. We had their what was the Hornet one? The Hornet Bomb.
Hornet bomb.
Yeah, we tried the Hornet Bomb. They have a couple other ones that we've got in the pantry there, but this one very simple ingredient list: jalapeno, vinegar, water, garlic, salt, mustard seed, dill seed, coriander seed, and black pepper.
It
So
smells really good.
yeah, this one. Let me give it a smell here. I mean, we've had a few kind of pickly sauces. I've never been disappointed by one. It's just a good flavor. Like a spicy pickle is something that you can get it in a big barrel. So it's like spicy pickle just lends itself to being a perfect pairing for hot sauce. This has a nice like applesauce consistency to it. Nice texture, nice kind of chunkiness to it. It looks straight up like a kind of like a pulsed or pureed relish a little bit. But all right, you ready to give this one a try?
Yeah.
All right. Ooh, better kick than I thought. Nice little punch up in the front.
This is good.
You got the pickliness, you got a little bit of pepperiness.
Yeah.
The description on here, just as we try this sauce, Pex Peppers Jalapickle Hot Sauce is exactly what you think it is, a tasty dill-based jalapeno hot sauce that is the perfect companion of any of your grilled food sandwiches and more. This mildly spicy sauce utilizes fresh jalapenos that have been mixed with a bit of garlic, coriander, mustard seed, and a pinch of black pepper to create the ultimate spicy pickle sauce. Get yourself in a pickle today with a jalapickle hot sauce. When I hear get yourself in a pickle, I always think baseball.
Yeah. Sandlot.
Sandlot, Javi Baez, who's on the Tigers now, he had one of the better get out of a pickle and end up. I think he ended up either at third or a home run. Like he ended up at home plate.
Um, just took my wife and I took our nephew to a Whitecaps game, which is a farm league of the Tigers. Saw a baby, probably a 7 to 9 month old baby, catch a foul ball straight in the face.
That's not good.
Baby was fine, but had a nice little. I can't believe she didn't go to the ER. She went back to the like first aid center,
Mm-hmm.
and then came back like one inning later, and then now her baby had a hat on, and then just had like a black and blue knob right on their cheek. And
I
it's
mean,
like,
those chubby cheeks, they're real resistant.
yeah, that was a major league foul ball though. So I wouldn't have done it, but the baby was fine. baby was smiling and giggling, and also had like a cartoon-sized horseshoe knob on the cheek.
I'll tell you what, that baby's already been pre-selected to be one of the 100 to go against the gorilla. With that type of toughness, that's what we need.
Oh man. No, but this sauce is good. I like that you can taste the garlic and dill, but
Yeah, and it's
it's
very like briny, vinegary. Like it leans into the pickliness of it,
but it's
and
not
that garlic
overpowering.
is
I get
no.
mostly pickle, mostly jalapeno, and then all those are secondary. You know, sometimes you get a pickle sauce and it's like just blown out with garlic, which isn't always a bad thing, but sometimes it's just like, okay, that's just raw garlic or just too much dill.
Yeah,
I'd say they got the ratios dialed in really good there, and it is hotter than what I was expecting. It's not a burner,
it's
but it's like it's on the high end of jalapeno.
yeah, it's on the hotter side of jalapeno, but I do like that you get that nice fresh jalapeno flavor. So that does come through. Man, now I want to just grill burgers and hot dogs, and
Yeah, this
just
would be good on a hot dog.
yeah, grilling out brats. I saw a video actually just this morning that someone took a brat, took off the casing, made it into a burger patty, and then made brat burgers.
But
And
that'd be good.
I'm like, I don't know why we don't do that. Like, it's just an easier. I mean, there is something nice about that snap of the casing when you're biting into a brat, but it also, he said, it's also a kind of a mind melder where you open a grill that smells like fresh grilled brats, and all you see are burger patties.
Yeah.
So it'd be a weird prank, I guess.
Weird prank.
It's like, hey, you guys want brats? But like, yeah, I made burgers.
Got
But
me
it
good.
smells like I know. Like, you're wrong.
Like, God, man, it's weird.
But like, he spent 12 minutes making these. Like, he could have already been done by now. No, I really like the, yeah, this flavor is really good. It's not surprising that it's on the hotter side of jalapeno because their sauces lean towards the hotter
Yeah, their
end of
other
things
stuff's
anyway.
really hot.
Yeah, so they like to push the envelope there. But no, I would say this is of the more pickly sauces we've had. I think this is one of the hotter ones.
Yeah.
And they're all pretty jalapeno or serrano or somewhere in that milder category.
Hmm.
But I'm gonna save this so I can actually grill something this weekend because I feel like I would eat this whole bottle. So that's really good. What was your fact for this sauce?
So I went into, it is gardening season, growing season.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people, whether you like pickles or not, grow cucumbers.
Okay.
So I looked at best companion plants for pickles
Hmm.
in your garden. And there's one that I was really surprised by. The other ones kind of made sense, but there was two. One I was really surprised by. Two I was kind of surprised by.
Okay.
Any guesses as to what? Not I don't want to say universally, but one of the better companion plants for pickles are in your garden.
For cucumbers?
Yeah.
Okay. Tomatoes?
Nope.
Potatoes?
Nope. I think that was on the list, but not
Carrots?
No.
Pumpkins?
No. Those two would just get in a vine match. Those two would just suffocate
Yeah.
each other. I feel like the pumpkin may win, but
I don't know.
marigolds.
Really?
Yeah, marigolds have insect repelling properties.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of one of the repeat because there's a million lists on the internet. That was
Sure.
kind of one of the most reoccurring. The other was sunflowers, just because they provide good vine structure for the actual cucumber. But
Yeah, sunflowers get tall.
yeah, so but yeah, marigolds that wasn't on my radar.
I had at my condo when I had a bird feeder and I just bought like some generic bird seed and from underneath where the bird feeder was, I had like 2 or 3 sunflowers just grow. Never
Oh
grew
yeah,
there before.
yeah,
And everyone's like, "Oh, you planted sunflowers." I'm like, "No, I did not."
yeah. I feel like that all comes down to like the quality of bird seed that you bought.
So does that mean it's good quality because it can grow flowers, or is it bad quality because?
I don't know honestly,
Yeah,
because
I'm gonna say it's.
like
I don't think I bought high end.
yeah, I use that stuff at my place, and I don't get
Yeah,
sunflowers. And then my grandma uses some at her place, and she doesn't let them grow, but you've got like a million little
yeah.
seedlings popping up of sunflowers.
I want to get the habanero bird seed so the squirrels won't go after it, or at
I
least
get
if they
I get
do.
the capsaicin suet cakes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
it's got
pretty
a
hot.
big value pack of suet cakes. So
Definitely may have tried one before. No, I didn't take a bite out of it. I touched my tongue to it. I'm like, okay, yeah, I can see how a squirrel would not appreciate that.
you took a bite. You didn't take a bite. You
Just
fried it up.
straight beef tallow. Oh, it'd melt.
Be like, hey, I cooked this. Be like, it's got an interesting flavor. It'd be like, yeah, I used suet to fry it up in. Be like, this is just
It is just
toast.
beef tallow. It really
Yeah,
would be.
is that all it is? Just
Yeah.
like low grade, hopefully.
Yeah, you just take you melt down beef tallow and then you pour it into a mold that's full of seeds.
Hmm.
And then good for birds in winter just because the high fat content.
Yeah,
It's like all fat. So
I mean that's what I do in the winter too. I try to eat high fat content. It's usually Taco Bell.
dirty bulk. And then in the summertime I don't get rid of it.
Yeah, in the summer I just forget to stop,
Just
and
keep
then but the good
rolling
news
it
is by
over.
the time you get to winter, you're already on pace.
Yeah.
Be like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm storing up fat for the winter. Be like, it's March.
Yeah.
Like,
And then
never
your
can start too early.
transfers. I've
Like
seen
I procrastinate
it
on
snow in
everything
May
else.
before.
Yeah,
Never know.
you might say that I procrastinate on everything, but not this. This I'm way ahead of the game. Um, so I looked into the coriander that's in this,
Okay.
because something that I never really looked into, but the cilantro and the coriander, I was like, I've never looked into like what the difference is because it's derived from the same plant.
I just found this out like 2 weeks ago by accident. Totally by accident.
So, because there's been times where like you go to the grocery store to get cilantro,
Hmm.
and on the little bushel of or little bundle of it, it says coriander. I'm like,
Yeah. Like
can I
what
use
a
this?
dummy. I don't need that. I need I need
Yeah,
cilantro.
like I want to go to the attendant and be like, hey, do you have any cilantro? Be like, yeah, it's right there. Be like, no, that's coriander. I need
Dumbass.
cilantro. Um, but really, it's the differentiation is the cilantro is the leafy part that people think tastes like soap and we don't use, and the coriander is the seed. So like when
Yeah.
they say the coriander seed, like really coriander means that it's the seed, that it's either the whole seed ground up, whatever it might be.
Hmm.
Um, but as an additional fact, because I was worried that you would know that already, because I'm like
I've
this,
only known that for 2 weeks, so it still blows my mind.
which this is one of those points where anyone that makes hot sauce, like Claire, who's a culinary scientist, she's gonna be like, these idiots didn't know coriander was a seed. Like, okay, like, all right, let's just good they tried our sauce, but come on, guys. Um, but no, it says it's been around as far back as 1550 BC,
Oh wow.
with including a reference in the Bible, Exodus chapter 16 verse 31. I didn't know that, so I'm not big into my Bible verses on coriander. And its name comes from the Greek chorus, which means stink bug. So they really liked coriander, I think.
Hmm. Stink bug. That doesn't sound too appetizing. It is very
So
fragrant, but
so something that they said was that like when it was in its leafy form, um, there was a smell that like I think as it started to turn, it had a stink bug esque.
gotcha.
Because like I like the smell of cilantro, but I think there is a bit of that in the smell.
Yeah.
Because like when I get a stink bug on me, like I could see the similarity. Now I'm not, hungry for a stink bug, but I will eat. I'll put a whole handful of cilantro on tacos. So
Hmm.
yeah,
You know the
which
scene.
what's that?
You know the scene in Dumb and Dumber when Jim Carrey's walking out and he sees the framed newspaper article on the wall that we've landed on the moon.
I mean, kind of. I haven't watched Dumb and Dumber in forever.
He's just like blown away by it, and it's like, yeah, that was like 25 years ago.
Yeah.
That's how my wife and I were when we saw that. We actually looked at a pack of cilantro seeds,
Mm-hmm.
which made a note right there, like, use as an herb or let grow out and use as coriander seeds. And it says right there, coriander, cilantro seeds. It was that kind of just like stupid moment where we're like, no way. I don't know. It's just
That's
not what I was expecting.
that's where I usually just like Play it cool. Act like you've always known this. Be like, yep, of course. Yep, definitely. This is what I expected.
We were way too open about it.
Yeah. Like, did you know this? Be like, I totally knew that. I totally knew that before. Don't ask me
Changed
any
the
more
way I
questions.
looked at food.
Yeah. No, that somebody out there, maybe someone that's about to get into making hot sauce, somebody that's like that doesn't like cilantro, so they're like, oh, cilantro, coriander, I don't want to use any of that. Coriander is a different, something different to you. So maybe
There's
we
that
help
one
somebody
guy
today.
out there that's like, I hate cilantro, can't stand it, but coriander's pretty good.
Yeah, and now they
It's
just
like
found
the
out it's
contrarian guy that doesn't know what he's talking about.
yeah. But I do blame a little bit of this on my local grocery store though, because I'm like, you labeled the leafy part coriander, and that is incorrect.
That I've never seen. I've never seen that before.
If I can find it, I'll take a picture of it
I
as
believe
proof. Well, I mean, you shouldn't, but
you.
you should always have proof. AI's everywhere. I might be AI right now. I might be at home,
I never thought about
watching
that.
TV right now.
You could have died months ago.
Yeah, Angela's been running this podcast on AI this whole time.
Have you seen the guys that do that with like
when you go to close your podcast and like Riverside accounts, they're like, "Is this because someone died?" And it's like, "Yes." It's like, "Do you want to just continue it with AI?" It's like,
would you like to continue?
it's just $12 a month. Be like,
It's like,
it's not bad.
is this a video game? Do I have like an extra life coin?
I was gonna mention this off camera, but I'll mention it on because I don't know if I'm gonna use it. Riverside just has a new feature now. Have you seen those clips? Most often I see it with either Joe Rogan or Theo Vaughn, where it's them in baby form. So it's the same clip, but them just talking as babies.
Oh yeah.
So Riverside has now the filters and the AI thing where it's like you can take up to a minute clip and change it to baby, anime, cartoon, like all these options. I'm sure it's for an extra fee, but I'm real tempted to do one of those because that would be really funny.
Yeah.
Because I'm already bald, so I'm already like halfway to being a baby. So baby with a mustache would be great.
It'd probably just throw like a skin layer on my face and then give me like huge cheeks because my beard like give it extra volume. So I feel like it'd be a real chubby
give you like
baby.
Give you like a little like gout neck. It's gonna your face is gonna be more puffed up than that baby that took that baseball to the face.
Yeah, right.
But no, so let's keep an eye out for some AI items. I've joked that I can just make you say whatever I want with AI now, but I won't pay the extra fee.
Like that.
You have a whole separate podcast now where you talk about how much you love LeBron James.
Oh, I heard yesterday. This is some good news about LeBron. The fact that he's just he's a very consistent person. I heard that he was one of the biggest complainers at the last Olympics about the cardboard bed frames, and that he's
okay.
Yeah, he was complaining that he was expecting like the red carpet as far as the rooms that they put him up in, and so they made cardboard bed frames and then just put mattresses on them, and for some reason it just drove him up the wall. So it is positive LeBron news because he's consistent with the way he complains about things.
I didn't have high hopes that this was going to be like an actual positive thing about LeBron.
That is positive. I don't know what your problem is. Negative Nancy over there.
Okay.
It's hard to find stable character.
Yeah, I mean he's committed to the bit. It's like I'm going to complain about everything.
He's peeking through it. He's like, I hate this mattress.
Yeah.
Like peeking through his fingers.
He lays on it and just immediately just like falls down like something's attacking his back.
Just wincing the second he lays down. Oh, that's funny. Oh, I hope that guy gets an eyelash in his eye.
Those are the rough ones when you're like, oh, I hope you like mildly turn your ankle. Like, oh, I hope you get an eyelash stuck in your eye. Like, I hope you think you left your contact in, but you can't find it.
Oh, okay, that's miserable. That's way too far.
Did I cross the line?
You crossed the line with that, dude. Contacts are scary. I think back, there's some days like you'd be out like water skiing or barefooting, you'd hit your face, you'd think you lost your contacts. Mm-hmm. You'd be sitting there on the couch with your glasses on. 3 hours later, you'd blink and a contact rolls from the back of your eye and just right in your eye. You're like, oh, that's scary. Where's the other one?
I'm still not convinced that there's not like a one or two contacts just chilling somewhere in the back of my brain.
Yeah. Oh, nope.
Um, all right, well, let's talk about this sauce. Let's get a score for this sauce here. So, with the Jalapickle, with the heat on this, I would say that it's, I don't know, I'd say it's like a low two, high one, because like it's not just like a presence of heat and gone. It does linger a little bit. It does have a bit of a punch to it, but
I had a 2 on this one.
yeah, because like with a two, it's like a lingering heat, a little bit more sustainable. And then three is where you start reacting. You're nowhere near reacting in a like a sweating, crying, snotting kind of situation, but I think it does linger well enough. I think it is a hotter one. I think if I gave this to some of my milder family members, they probably would think that I tricked them in some way, even though this is a
Trick that.
good mild sauce.
Yeah.
I think part of it is also because of the high acidity, because of the vinegariness, because of that pickle part of it.
Hmm.
I think that also makes it feel a little bit more reactive, just because like that vinegar can have a bit of a bite to it
Yeah.
as well.
Right.
But for this one, I had this as an 80 out of 100.
I had an 80 out of 100 as well.
It's always impressive when we do this remotely and we get the same score.
Yeah.
We have a little chat window going on, be like, you doing 80? But yeah, I'm doing 80. Okay, cool. I'll just
Absolutely
copy
zero benefit to us doing that. So,
that. It actually makes it more boring to be like, yeah, we got the same score. But no, Pex Peppers, just want to mention Pex Peppers LLC is their Instagram. PexPeppers.com is their website. Pex Peppers is the name on Facebook. Uh, Again, if you want some sauces that have good burn, this is a milder one of theirs. But if you want some with good burn, they've got a lot of hot sauces over there, a lot of good burners, a lot of good use with like the honey, with a lot of sweet elements too. So check them out. And then I would say we'll break for sponsor, but no sponsor this week. That mechanic isn't going to be our sponsor. I will say this isn't a sponsor either, but quick shout out to I've been doing that shipped shopping,
yeah.
and I've learned so much about different groceries that are in the grocery store that I never thought existed.
Oh, yeah. I've had it.
Also, I found out there's a lot of people that just get like the cheapest vodka possible. I'm like, where's this vodka?
You know
And I
what
look
bums me out?
down.
When you get a shipped order that's like like a whole lot of vodka and then like 10 Lunchables, it's like, oh, so you have 2 kids. So it's
That's
just,
not a guarantee though. That just might be their diet.
it could be, but
I know people that are in their 20s into 30s where it's like, oh yeah, we don't cook. I'm like, what do you mean you don't cook? Like, we don't cook anything. And so like I could see them just being like, oh, we just have some Lunchables.
yeah, maybe.
I mean, the responsible thing is you get a pack of lunch meat, you get a pack of cheese, you get your own crackers or bread, and you eat it like an adult. But you know, Lunchables,
I mean, Lunchables are good.
quick
I
and
love a
easy.
good nacho Lunchable, but I'm also not buying it with 2 gallons
Also,
of vodka.
think about this: drinking, you're passed out, either in the middle of the night or you wake up the next day and you're like, I just need something. A
That does sound
Lunchable, you
nice.
can't really mess up.
Just crack open a Lunchable.
Like you can just grab blindly with your hand into the Lunchable and shove it. As long as there's no wrapped candy bar, you're not going to choke on anything.
Yeah. Like
So
the 6 a.m. you're still spinning. You want Taco
yeah,
Bell, but it's out of the question. Just grab a grab a Lunchable. I could see that.
yeah. I had a one where it was like 5 boxes of wine, a couple other different like beverages and drinks and alcohol, and that the guy that was like checking the receipt, I'm just like, yeah, somebody's gonna have a good time. He's like, or they're having a bad time. I'm like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I like to assume that it's a party going
Party
on.
for one. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, oh god. Like now I hope they're doing okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, but there's some other ingredient things. Like I found these habanero chickpeas that I was like, oh, let me try that chickpea snack. Like it's pretty good.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that you really don't know exist. We have Meyer around here. There's a lot of things you don't know exist until you run some shipped orders. There's these nacho cheese cups that are in the Hispanic food section.
Okay.
Had no idea those existed, but those are the greatest invention ever.
It was tough though, where there was one order where it's like, hey, give me just like a bottle of like, generic Meyer brand hot sauce. And I'm like, I know I can't change your mind,
Yeah.
but like, I could tell you they're out. Be like, I have this other good one.
I picture you totally burning that order and just being like, so I bought all these hot sauces. You just pick one, and I'll just eat the cost on the rest.
Be like, hey, they don't have this hot sauce. What are you using it for? What's like your favorite uses of it? And I'll be like, ooh, actually, I'm gonna stop in this other store on the way there. I'm gonna get you this sauce. Like it's gonna be perfect. Don't worry about it. We do a podcast. Quickly get my account deactivated. Where that's like, guy tried to sell another hot sauce bottle. No, the other one, somebody had a brat with, or they ordered brats like the cheddar jalapeno ones, and I'm like, hey, they're out of those. You can do cheddar brats, or they do have a green hatch chili brat. And the lady was like, I'll do the green hatch chili, and I'm like, hell yeah, like you could have gone the easy way.
Supporting the Rio Grande region of Mexico.
Yeah, I'm like, much better option. But anyway, let's get into the taco vibes only. So again, this is Claire from Butterfly Bakery of Vermont. They don't just do hot sauce. I've talked before about their granola. They have caramels that we've had. There's a mustard that they make. There's a lot more that they make that I'm sure I'm missing. But Taco Vibes Only is just one of them. It's Butterfly Bakery VT is the Instagram. ButterflyBakeryVT.com is the website. And also Claire is a part of the podcast Flavor Balance Heat, which interviews sauce makers and people in the hot sauce world. I keep trying to get us on that show, and there was one time where I think Spike thought he sent the calendar schedule and then didn't, and so I'm like, got to get on that show because it's Spike from Irish Spikes.
Have we ever been a guest on a show before?
I have.
You have.
Technically, I've been a guest on 2 shows.
Which one were those again?
So I was on one of the Meat Eater podcast ones, and then I was on Spill the Sauce.
Were you on Mark's?
No.
Oh.
No. I was on.
I feel like I would have remembered that one.
You might have caught that one. I was on not Flavor, the Spill the Sauce. So I was a guest on there.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what entity it was, but at the Philly show, I jumped on.
Oh, that's right.
Caster and Kyle's podcast. It was like a live episode, so I don't know if it was like a full-on podcast episode or if it was just like a clip thing for the show. But I was on that last year for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I feel like I'd be a bad guest on a show. Because
the thing that makes me uncomfortable is like I sat down and Kyle immediately was like, listen to that voice. And I'm like, I don't like when people immediately start telling me nice things.
Start calling it out. I'm already a quiet person in my home turf. And I feel like I'd show up on someone else's show and just be like, it's your show, man. You talk.
If somebody has me as a guest on their future podcast, I want them to immediately be mean to me. I'll be like, all right, I need to earn this. I'm like, all right, much better.
Dude, I tell my sister-in-laws that all the time. Because I like to pick on them. They're fun. If I pick on you, I like you.
I was going to say, I'm like, your sisters, you tell your sisters to like have you on their podcast?
No, to pick on me. But they don't pick on me back at all. They will every once in a while. But it's like, I'm just kind of starting to feel bad. Like, make fun of me.
Did you ever see the comedian Brad Williams talk about when he was growing up, how his dad would pick on him and bully him to like toughen him up for comebacks? Because he's the comedian, I don't know if he's considered like a little person, but like he's the smaller comedian.
I've seen him. Yeah.
But he talks about how he's like, yeah, my dad would like give me a hard time and I'd get upset. And he'd be like, no, hit me back with something. So by the time he got to school and somebody like made fun of him, they're like, he had no idea. He just like opened Pandora's box and immediately got sent to like the principal because he made a kid cry. And his dad was just like, did he start it? Like, no. Did he finish it? Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
That's funny.
But with Taco Vibes Only, I mentioned this is season 20. This was the number 9 sauce, just ahead of Da Bomb. Let me read the bottle here since you don't have it in front of you. Taco Vibes Only is a vibrant, painfully joyous hot sauce that will bring those tasty taco vibes to the table. It's a stealthy sauce that starts out exceptionally hot, digs in, just gets hotter. It is excruciatingly perfect on tacos, chicken wings, and frenemies. So we're looking at distilled organic white vinegar, red serrano, reaper pepper, lime juice, ghost pepper, garlic scapes, salt, reaper pepper powder, coriander, and cumin. Another coriander. Just focus on the coriander. Don't think of those other peppers and stuff I
Yeah.
listed.
I was thinking of the garlic scapes. Are you
You
familiar
know,
with
the
those?
garlic scapes. So we've had them in other sauces, but like it's always a unique thing because it's not a common. I think crack sauce. I think they
I
use
think it
garlic
was
scapes
cracked
in their
sauce. Yeah. Yeah.
fiddlehead sauce. So yeah, so that's always interesting because it's. Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't it? It's a lighter garlic flavor than like straight up just like garlic
Yeah.
cloves, right? More
I,
earthy.
I think it's like a perfect mix between like an onion and garlic. I'm pretty sure. Like the bulk
Okay.
onions.
So it's like a green onion and a garlic just kind of fused.
I think so.
Did a Dragon Ball Z fusion. 0 calories. There you go. All right. So you ready to try this one and suffer for a bit?
Let's give it a shot. You keep talking this up. I mean, it definitely smells hot. I just
The powder is the thing that like there's a couple things I've had with powder where it's like it's hot, but that's what really kind of punches it. That's usually what gives me the hiccups, I think, is the powders. So we'll give it a try here. I got a full spoonful.
all right.
All right. Oh, that's hot. I know it's going to be hot. So the good news is the pepper flavors are there. I taste the Reaper. Taste a bit of the Ghost of Serrano for sure.
Definitely tastes like a taco sauce.
It does taste like a taco sauce. I think the second taste will be even more taco forward and the peppers won't hit as much, but the peppers is what I get first.
Man,
My
that
tongue is
making me
salivating.
salivate like a son of a gun.
Yeah, I
I'm
immediately
leaking.
just ooh. This is how you wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't know why people do coffee.
What were some? I didn't watch any of the season. I don't think. What were some of the reactions? I can't even talk. With spit falling out of my face.
You know, I'd have to go back and watch them. I should have watched them before this because this was a couple seasons ago. I think we're 6 seasons ago for this one. But they do have a milder version of this. I don't have it. So I'd be curious how much of that comes, the flavor balance of that one. My tongue is just like, I don't know.
You feel a pulse.
Yeah. Feel my
Definitely
heartbeat in my
hot,
tongue.
for sure. Well, I can't look down at all and talk.
Because of the salivation.
Yeah,
This is the fun
kind
part
of
of the
gross.
video podcast. Because you get to see this reaction.
Yeah, it is good though. It definitely, for being in a really hot sauce. You know how sometimes they take on that oily, they all kind of taste the same.
Sure.
This one actually tastes like a taco sauce that's just ramped way up.
I was telling my cousin about how there's like some good taco sauces out there. I mentioned Galactic Hobo's taco sauce, Hell's Kitchen taco sauce. I've used some of Stinky sauces on tacos. It's not necessarily any of them are straight taco sauce. La Muerte, I think, is a good taco sauce. This is another one, but this is a hot one to put on there.
Mm-hmm.
I would think this is hotter than their standard La Muerte because it's got also that powder in there that holds that heat. Ooh, the second spoonful did have like a better taco flavor on it. But I'm also going to start crying soon.
It took a while for mine to ramp up. I'm on the downswing now, but
I think my swing is a little bit longer than yours.
forgot a water. I'll just ride it out.
Water doesn't do anything anyway. You need to take
I don't have a
you need
difference.
lemonade.
I don't have a difference between milk and water.
This would be a good sauce to do a test of like the different drinks and how they change heat because this heat holds.
Yeah, it's pretty level. Like once it ramps up, it plateaus, but it holds for a while.
Yeah.
But for me, coconut milk shuts it right off.
Coconut milk?
Yeah, like from painful to absolutely no sensation. Coconut milk does that for me.
Hold on one second.
It's
I'm just trying to hide
my left
my.
nostril run.
Yeah, so I haven't gotten the snot stuff. I'm glad that I didn't get the hiccup because the hiccup would have been a tough one to get through. But it's just holding in my mouth. I did have a second spoonful though, so that maybe is part of it.
I glugged quite a bit.
Yeah, you've
I
got a squeeze bottle, so that's a
I
dangerous
can't see
game.
what I'm gonna do, so I just kind of tip it back until it falls in my face.
It's also super smooth. There's not a lot of texture to it, so a squeeze bottle, it's just
Yeah,
there's no blocking it.
right.
Um, I'll go into my fun fact on this one while I'm still starting to tear up. I'm getting right to that emotional part of the movie. I'm about to cry. You know, when Andy gives up his toys at the end of Toy Story 3.
I'm
Um,
ready to watch Toy Story 3.
oh, did I just ruin it for you?
No, maybe.
How, well, there's a fourth one now, so it's not even like the ending anymore. All right. So, what do you think I went with for my fact?
I think you went with tacos.
I did go with tacos. So, tacos have been around for a while. I mean, pretty much as long as there's been tortillas, there's been some form of taco. But the term
Hold on, which came first,
taco,
the tortilla or the taco?
tortilla,
Oh, sorry, Jesus.
probably.
Why'd you say it so
Wh-
condescendingly?
well, what else would you put a taco in if you didn't have a tortilla?
A leaf?
That's a leaf. That's a lettuce wrap.
Oh, okay.
Don't let the vegans find out that lettuce wraps were around before tacos. No,
I
that's
feel
they
like those
use.
were made popular in the year 2007 by P.F. Chang's.
They were using grape leaves.
Yeah.
Oh, I just saw a recipe for cabbage rolls, and I'm like, oh, I want to make some of those now.
That sounds good.
But no, the tacos have been around for a while, but the word taco was developed in the 19th century in the Mexican silver mines.
Really?
So the first modern taco was called the Taco de Minero, or miner's taco. And part of the reason for that origin was um, miners would take gunpowder and wrap it in paper and put it in the rocks before detonation, and they basically would call those like tacos, like they'd do this thing where they wrap up in paper,
Hmm.
and so they would call the tacos were started to call miners tacos in reference to that.
Because you take meat and just pack it into like a little
A
cloth
little,
like they would do with the gunpowder.
little
Interesting.
tortilla paper.
Isn't that
And
crazy how almost the same process between silver mining in Mexico and copper mining in the UP gave us pasties and tacos, which are two very different flavor
that's the
profiles.
biggest of all the drawbacks of like mining between health and safety and child
With
labor.
some cool ass
The
food out
food things have been really good
there. Yeah.
that came from
Appreciate
there.
your black lung.
Yeah. But no, but the gunpowder just a little bit milder than the taco vibes only as far as like explosiveness. So
That's funny.
I wasn't expecting to make that reference, but it's a good burner.
That's a good one.
The taco vibes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. That was 10 times hotter than I was expecting.
Yeah.
What do you think I went with?
Based on history, you went with butterflies.
No, actually, I did not. I went with ski resorts.
Okay.
So Vermont, by area, is the sixth smallest state in the country, right?
Okay.
It is number 8 in total number of ski resorts in the country. So almost totally inverse, which I found pretty interesting. And New Hampshire, I think, is like number 3 or 4, which is even smaller than Vermont. But it always blows my mind. And I've only driven through that area once. We took a road trip out to Maine. But like the Vermont, New Hampshire area, oh, it was so cool. Just super dense with wood, so you can see why. Syrup is big out there. But then it seemed like every bend in the road, there was just like another ski resort out there. So it's very neat.
That is crazy how dense that would be in such a small state. No, good fact. I was a little disappointed though because you've said in previous podcasts that as long as we do this sauce,
I
you'll do
know.
butterflies, and you change it up.
I just felt the need to throw that one out there because I saw that list a while ago, and I just thought it was super neat.
The good news is, there's a lot more butterfly bakery sauces we have not tried yet, so you'll have opportunity.
Yeah.
Those are good facts. The sauce has cooled down for me after the 2 spoonfuls. My stomach is a bit aware now that I haven't had breakfast and I just threw this in my belly, so
Yeah.
it's really happy. This is our first time doing a morning episode in a while, so it's not used to it like it once was.
Mm-hmm.
I argue that it's good for me though, because it's something you get this in your system and it really like, you know,
Shocks the system for
shocks them into being like an alert karate stance
Yeah.
mode. But I do like, uh, I say it every time, but it's really true. The second spoonful is always going to give you a better flavor experience because that first spoonful, especially of a really, really hot sauce,
It's
you
usually
kind of,
shock a bit.
unless your tolerance is just like insane, you're you're going to be in some type of like dealing shock, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Um, but then once you do that, like you do get that flavor, you do get that the taco sauce flavor, and I do like, I've learned to really enjoy the flavor of Reapers, but it is something when I first taste that fresh Reaper pepper, it sends me into a bit of a panic where I'm like, oh no, here we go again. But it's a really good sauce. It is a burner. It's not going to take a lot if you don't want to like overheat up your tacos. It's going to just be a little bit of a drizzle. This could go into like if you put it in a little bit of sour cream and make like a spicy sour cream dip for your tacos or whatever. It's not going to take much to heat it, but
Right.
the more you put in, you know, the stronger you are, and good for you. Um, I mean, because it's called Taco Vibes Only, I don't know if we really need to recommend it on anything but tacos and Mexican food.
Yeah, this is just going on tacos.
Because normally it's like, hey, there's a sauce, and I try to think of like what's something different that we could, but it's like tacos, Mexican pizza, burritos, nachos, um,
Oh, you know what this
you
would be
know,
good with?
burrito bowl,
My wife's friends, a lot of them are from Mexico or have
nice plate
family
of
from
rice and
Mexico.
beans.
Yeah, rice, no beans, rice. A good
Me-
cilantro rice. But what they do a lot of times, they actually take like pico de gallo, but
mhm.
then they'll add a lot of Valentinas to it, and
Okay.
almost make like a hot like a I don't even know what it is. Like I don't even know what you call it, but it's just like pico swamped in Valentina's hot sauce. It's super good.
Okay.
I feel like you could do that with this though. Like add the Valentinas, but then add in a shot of this to really crank up the heat.
Yeah.
That would be
I
really good.
I thought of like, I guess it would be considered a prank, but if you made a Spanish rice, but the redness of the Spanish rice was from this sauce, that'd really mess somebody's day up.
You have those pranks on YouTube where you're like, you could have just killed the guy. Like,
Yeah. Or the Man vs. Food, I forget the guy's name, but he talked about like there was that one competition where they threw like extract. They put extract
they
on top
way
of the
overdid
wings
it for
more
him.
than what they do on any other challenge, and like he's like it could have killed me.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this sauce as hot as as hot as I'm saying it is, and obviously I reacted a good deal from it. It is a really flavorful sauce. It's not surprising coming from Butterfly Bakery Vermont's collection, and it makes sense why it was the spot it was on Hot Ones. I
Right.
think after Da Bomb, this was a nice flavor change for people,
Hmm.
even though the heat is still there and still ramping up.
Yeah.
But
What'd
but
you have
again,
for
that's
score?
for the score. So I had 4 out of 5 on heat because I think this is good pain.
Yeah.
And then I had an 84 out of 100.
I had 77. So pretty close.
Yeah, not as close as the last one, but anything above 75, we recommend to buy. Something we'd have in our kitchen. Above 50, we'd recommend to buy. 25 to 50 is like, okay, like not something you have to like seek out. Um, and below 25, not for us, maybe for you.
Yeah.
Haven't found one of those. Oh, haven't found one of those on the podcast yet. I would really regret the day that we find one of those, but
I keep that bottle of I think I did a legit score on it. It was like 14. I keep that bottle in my fridge
mhm.
and I use it as like a not a party trick cuz we don't really do parties, but like if we have friends over, I'm like you want to try something that's absolutely disgusting that someone signed off on?
Yeah.
They're like, "No." I'm like, "Come on, it's really bad. Please try it."
If I will say, so I don't want to reveal who that sauce is, but if I ever find that sauce is going to be an event, I want to talk to them and just kind of get a better understanding of what's going on.
Just pull them off to the side and be like, "Was that a joke? Be
Yeah,
honest. Was that a joke that you went through the FDA to get cleared?"
it's a very committed bit. That is a Winston from New Girl bit, which if you watch New Girl, you'd understand, but I don't think you've seen New Girl.
I've not. Zoe
Um,
Deschanel, but I have not seen it.
Zoe Deschanel.
I see the advertisements all the time.
But yeah, but that's the episode. A nice mild jalapeno sauce, a burner taco sauce. Special thank you to Pex Peppers and Butterfly Bakery Vermont for sending these sauces and for just being contributors to the podcast. Special thank you also to Harold at flamerlame.pro. He's on our Patreon. Special thank you to Scoville, who sponsored the last batch of episodes. This one is not sponsored by them, but I still want to give them a special shout out.
When they're not sponsoring, they're still sponsoring.
Yeah, I mean, they don't get the full ad read with the fancy videos or whatever, but still want to shout them out. It's a local Michigan company. Appreciate them. And special shout out to Miletta's. They were on the first episode of Hot Sauce Havoc, so good to see them getting recognized on that platform. And also, Derek had the full color changing jersey. Miletta's with the I don't know how you call it, but where the colors kind of blend together, the transition color on the jersey. I'm like, that is the best uniform to wear for a hot sauce show.
Right.
So yeah, special thank you and shout out to them. Thank you again for listening. However you listen, if you we do appreciate you. If you want to support the podcast and gain additional perks, please consider our Patreon. Whether you join or not, we appreciate you regardless. And if you'd like to sponsor an episode, send us a message at theheatsourcepod@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram at The Heat Source Podcast for all updates, and tune in again next week when I think we're just going to try more sauce. I mean, we got a lot of sauce to get through.
I think we're going to try more sauce. That's funny.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll try more sauce.
All right.
No promises. All right, bye. We're going to do Taco Vibe second because it's extremely hot. So, way to start the morning.
Taco Vibes is extremely hot?
Yeah.
Really? That's why I've been wanting to try it because I'm like, ooh, a nice mild taco sauce.
You like a good bad boy hot sauce. It's fine. It's like, ooh, this hot sauce is going to hurt me. I want to get involved with that.